I'd be like Piper and just like sit in the background.
Do you think people would notice? That would be really funny. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Today we're talking spending freezes. So whether you're looking to do a spending freeze for the first time or you've done spending freezes in the past, they have not worked for you and it sucked and you don't like them, then stay tuned because I'm going to give you some tips and tricks maybe on why that spending freeze didn't work for you. And if you're new of, okay, this is how we combat it. This is how we do a spending freeze, the full breakdown of how to make a spending freeze successful. I will say that this is my second time filming this. I just filmed a full video and then I realized my mic was not on. So this is take two. Hopefully this is even better than the first, but if my voice gets raspy, that's why. If I'm out of breath, it's because I'm pregnant, 3rd trimester, home stretch. So just bear with me, please. But we're going to talk spending freezes. And I have a freebie. So I have a free printable on a spending freeze, how to make a spending freeze successful with a full blog post as well. So definitely grab it down below in the description box, completely free. And I really think this is going to help keep you motivated while you're doing your spending freeze and help make it successful. So definitely grab it down below in the description box with the blog post and you're going to love it. So first, what is a spending freeze? A spending freeze is a specific allotted amount of time that you are not spending extra money. And now we're going to go over what's allowed to be spent, what's not allowed to be spent, but you're going to say this spending freeze we're doing for a week. We're doing this spending freeze for a month. We're doing this spending freeze for 6 months, a year. We're crazy. We're doing this spending freeze for a long time. Whatever parameter you want to set, maybe just start with a week and see how that goes. Be like, all right, we did a week. Let's try a month. Let's try February. February is the shortest month of the year. I think that's a great time to do a spending freeze. So first you're going to allot how long you're doing the spending freeze for and really decide, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're committing to. Next, you want to say, okay, what are we not spending money on? We still have to pay our bills. We still have to put food on the table. We still have to buy gas for our car so we can get to work and do different things. And so we are allowed to spend money. It is not a no spend anything. It is a no extra spending. And so we're going to say, okay, we are allowed to spend money on these things, but outside of that, nope, off limits. Or we're doing a spending freeze from Target. We're doing a spending freeze from eating out. We're doing a spending freeze from whatever it is, but that's it. No spending in those categories, but anything else is free game. That's awesome. That's a great way to do it. So you want to set up your parameters and say, okay, this is what we're not spending money on. Also, you want to say, hey, only spending money in cash envelopes, or we are allowed to use this card, but we have to pay it off right away, or this is how it is. So set up those parameters, set up those rules so that you have very strict guidelines of what you're able to spend and how you're going to allocate it, because it's different for everyone. How I do a spending freeze may be different how you do a spending freeze, or your neighbor does a spending freeze, or your friend. It's not something that's set in stone. It's not this is how you do a spending freeze and no variation, no swaying from it. No, guys, money is personal. Personal finance is personal. So do it however it's going to work for you. I don't want you to have this really strict spending freeze and only last a week. No, that's not going to be helpful. So have something that's going to work for you. Now, if you've done spending freezes in the past and you're not saving any money, then maybe you need to tighten it up a little bit. Maybe it's a little too loose and you need to have a little bit more restrictions. So we're going to talk about that in this video as well. Okay, first thing to have a successful spending freeze is come up with a plan for your spending freeze. Come up with okay, these are the categories that we're spending in. These are the categories we're not spending in. This is our action plan. Also, come up with a plan. What do you do when you get triggered? Or what triggers you to spend? And say, okay, I start spending money when I'm sad. I start spending money when my spouse spends money. I start spending money when I'm bored. I go to Target and just roam around. I go and blindly shop on Amazon or Facebook Marketplace and have a plan in place and say, okay, when these things happen, this is what I'm going to do instead. Instead of going on Amazon and scrolling, I'm going to go and look for something to declutter my house, or I'm going to go and sell an item and make some money. So then I'm having a spending freeze. I'm saving money plus I'm making money. So it's a double win. Have something in place. Go watch my video that I just did on decluttering and find some things to declutter. I'll have it linked down below. Or read a book, or go for a walk, or call a friend, or do something, but have that plan in place. When I feel triggered, this is what I'm going to do. So that when the time comes, because it will come, you're going to be motivated in the beginning. You're like, I'm coloring the circles. I'm using the printable that Kelly made. It's awesome. I love it. This is amazing. Halfway through, you're going to be like, Y'all, this sucks. I do not like this. I want to spend money. I want to do this. Have that plan in place so that when the time comes, you're prepared. That is so, so important to have that plan so that you're prepared when it comes. The next step to have a successful spending freeze is to nail down your why. Why are you doing a spending freeze in the first place? Is it to save for a specific goal, to save for a car, to save for a vacation, to pay off this debt, to pay off this credit card, to do this, to do whatever it is? What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Have that in place so that when, like we said before, when you're triggered to spend, you can go back to your why. You can say, all right, you know what? This is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why we're sacrificing. And go back to your why. And also include your family in it. This isn't just a spending freeze for you, because your whole family is affected by the spending freeze. It's not just you that's affected by the spending freeze. Your kids need to understand why. Say, you know what? We're not spending money on this right now, but we're saving for a vacation. We're saving for a Disney. We're saving for the mountains. We're saving for the beach. And it's going to be so fun when we do that. Or we're saving to become debt-free, or we're doing a spending freeze to become debt-free. Do you know what it means to become debt-free? Do you know what debt is? And make this a money lesson, and then say, you know what? When we're debt-free, we're going to be able to do this. We're going to be able to bless that family. We're going to be able to do these things when we're debt-free, and get them excited and get them motivated, get them involved, and make sure that the why includes them. The why includes your husband. It's not just your why. It needs to be your spouse's why as well. So make sure that you are really thinking about your why and visiting it often, because like I said, halfway through, towards the end, you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to throw in the towel. You're going to want to crumple up my printable and throw it in the garbage. Say, screw this. I don't care about your stupid printable, Kelly. I am done with the spending freeze. No. Stick through it. You guys got this. Watch this halfway through the spending freeze when you're not motivated, and use the printable to stay motivated. Use it, reflect. What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? That's really going to help you to be like, all right, let's make this successful. We got this. Next, I want to cover two things that a spending freeze really helps with. First, it helps you to learn your triggers. You need to learn what triggers you. You need to learn, okay, I get triggered when I go to Target because of the whole thing. I get triggered when my spouse spends money and it ticks me off, and I do it out of spite. I do it as a, you know what, you're going to spend money, I'm going to spend too. And that's a trigger for me. It helps you to learn your triggers and learn where you're overspending, why you're spending what you're spending. A spending freeze is really supposed to be reflective and be like, all right, this is where we got to work on. This is some triggers that I have. Another thing that a spending freeze really helps with, sorry, the raspiness is setting in from double filming. A spending freeze is really going to help you to hit that goal. Hit that goal of saving $500 this month, or hit that goal of getting closer to paying off that credit card, or hitting the goal of saving this much money. So a spending freeze is really going to help you to point out your triggers and hit a specific goal, which is so awesome and so important. Now, if you've done spending freezes in the past and they haven't worked for you, here's some reasons why. Here's some reasons that I have found over the years that they don't work for people or people fail at them. First thing is failure to plan. Failure to come up with a plan of, okay, this is what we're doing. Say you are spending only $300 a month on groceries when typically you spend $600. So you are cutting in half rather than just saying, okay, we're going to spend $300 a month on groceries and it's going to be awesome when we're doing a spending freeze. Okay, what are you going to do when you still got groceries, you still got to put food on the table? Come up with a meal plan. Go through your fridge, go through your pantry, go through your freezer and say, okay, this is the month-long meal plan. Sitting down, we're getting it done. I have chicken thighs. These chicken thighs will last 3 dinners. I can make these 3 dinners with those chicken thighs. Okay, I can do this, I can do this. We're going to need milk, bread, eggs, produce. These are the things that we need from the grocery store, but everything else we can eat from our pantry, we can eat from our freezer, and really come up with that master plan. Okay, this is what we're doing. Or come up with those plans of when you're bored. Come up with a list of things that when you're bored, when your kids are bored, when you want to spend, what are you going to do? Rather than just saying, okay, we are going to the work, we're going to school, we're going to church, and we're going home. That's it. That's all we're doing all month long. Y'all, that's going to be boring. You're going to hate this. You're going to be cursing my name. Come up with a plan. Come up and say, hey, all right, we're going to build fort. We're going to make those animal puppets on the wall with flashlights. We're going to go and find free activities on Facebook in our local city. Maybe they have a movie night in the park that we're going to go to. They have these events at the local library. They have this. These are the fun, free things that we're going to do and how we're going to creative, because those times when you're bored are going to come, especially halfway through the month. So have that plan in place of things that you can do when you are bored, when your family's bored, when your kids are bored. And also, like I said, get your family involved. Keep explaining to them why you're doing what you're doing. Keep explaining to them the reason why and your big why of why you're doing what you're doing versus we're not spending any money. We can't go out to the store. We can't go to the movies. We can't go and do this. Explain the why. Keep on reminding them. Keep it at their front of their head, just like it's yours. The next reason why spending freezes don't work for some people is it doesn't break the habit and the trigger of spending money. It doesn't break it, and it doesn't make them stop going to the Target dollar spot. As soon as the month is over, they go right back. It doesn't make them really think and say, okay, you know what? I spend a lot of money on Amazon. And you know what? Instead of going on Amazon every single day after the month is over and saying, okay, you know what? I'm only going on Amazon once a week. And or only making my purchase in my cart once a week. And I can add things throughout the week, but every single Saturday, I'm going to go through that list. Do we need each item? Yes, no, we can get rid of this. This was an impulse versus adding to cart, proceed with checkout, adding to cart, proceeding with checkout, and then you made 3 purchases throughout the day. I've been there, I've been guilty, and really saying, okay, no, we are adding to the cart throughout the week if we need to, but we can only hit proceed to checkout one time during the week. And really make that change in your habit so that these are lifelong habits. You don't want to go right back to your old spending ways at the end of the spending freeze, or you don't want to spend more money the next month. That's something I see all the time is so many people will cut that month in February, and then in March spend way more than they typically did because they have to make up, they have to restock, they have to do all this stuff. And then it's just throwing it out the window. So you want to really have those triggers in place and really learn about yourself, reflect on it. Say, all right, what did I learn about myself this month? What can I do to change for the future, for the next year, forever, and to not go back to my old ways? That's what a spending freeze is really going to help you, is teach you what you spend money on and how you're triggered. Maybe cash is a trigger for you, or maybe cash is something that you need to be restrictive and say, this is the only cash I have. I can only spend this money of what's in this envelope. Or maybe cash is a trigger and say, cash, I just spend willy-nilly. I need to be succinct in my card. So really figure out what those triggers are for you because it's personal for you. The next reason why your spending freeze that may not be working is you're not tracking your spending. Yes, you're restricting from these things. You're restricting from going to Target dollar spot. You're restricting from going this, but you're not tracking your expenses. You're not putting them into a budget. I love budgeting. You guys know this. Budgeting is so important. Budgeting really, really is a game changer in hitting your financial goals. And a lot of people like apps, different things like that. I personally like the Excel spreadsheets. I like Excel, Google Sheets. I like having to physically write in the transactions. When you are just saying, oh, it's automated, it tracks with my bank account, and I've had the premium one, and it's okay, it just goes. No, you want to see those transactions. You want to have to manually add them in. When you are manually adding in gas station snacks, you can be like, all right, we're spending a lot of money. We're going here a lot. Instead of gas station snacks and had the markup of that saying, okay, we're going to now put those snacks on our grocery list and buy them at the grocery store rather than going to the gas station every time we go to the store or every time we're passing through town. So have those triggers of what a budget will do, of really having the accountability of what you're spending. And with budgeting, always finalize at the end of the month. It's so important to have your budget finalized because then you can hit your goals with it. You can track everything that you're spending and then say, okay, at the end of the month, we have $200 left over. Rather than just sitting in your checking account being like, okay, that's going towards debt. That's going towards credit card. That's going towards savings. That's going to my index fund. Have that plan of what your money goes to. I honestly believe that is how we were able to hit the goal that we did. This year, we increased our net worth by $240,000. That is mind-blowing. Y'all, when I started this channel, I was living paycheck to paycheck, $23,000 in debt, and struggling. Now, we just had a net worth of $240,000 increase this year. Holy cow, that's mind-blowing. But guys, we have stuck with it throughout the years. I have been on YouTube for 6 years. I think 6 years now? 5 years? 6 years? I don't even remember. I'm pregnant. My brain doesn't work anymore. But we have been doing this discipline for this long. And because of finalizing our budget, because of staying strict, even after we became debt free, we still budget. Even after doing all this stuff, we still budget and we still have those same things in place. And that really helps us to hit our goals. So for us at the end of the month, we put that money towards our goals, and it really helps us to see it visually, and also to be like, all right, this is the progress that we're making. Like, this is amazing that we're able to save this much of our income and put this much towards investments and this much towards whatever it is. So have a budget that really is going to help you to finalize it. I have a spreadsheet down below in the description box for you. I have Google Sheets, I have printables, I have Excel, all of that will be linked down below for you guys. Next, savings challenges. Have savings challenges with this. Combine savings challenges with your no spend month. Say, all right, you know what? We're going to do the $5 challenge with this. All right, you know what? We're going to use this to get 1 month ahead and start working on the 1 month ahead savings challenge, or the save what you spend. We spend $10 at Chipotle. We got to transfer $10 to savings. We're going to do these savings challenges along with it. So if you want more information on savings challenges, I have a full playlist here on savings challenges, including one that I just did on a 12-month year-long savings challenge. Tons of printables, tons of everything, all linked in there. So check out this playlist here. And if you want to know some side hustles that you can do at home, some ways to make money at home, check out this video here.